Welcome to Prosperize, your destination for growth and success. So join us on this journey towards prosperity, and let's make your dreams a reality.
How Joe Rogan became so popular. Joe Rogan, comedian, podcaster, commentator, and one of the most influential figures in modern media. But how did he become so powerful and popular? Let's break it down. Early career.
And I've been hearing the M word too much from my girlfriend, you know what I'm talking about? She brings up marriage a little bit too much, and it's, I can't even hear that word. I hear the word marriage, my brain just shuts off. That's like a contract. I sign this. I can't have sex with other girls for the rest of my life, and I gotta buy you a ring. Like, that deal sucks.
Joe Rogan's journey to fame began in the 1990s as a stand-up comedian. His unique style and outspoken personality caught attention.
If you do get married, you shouldn't live together. That's the key to happiness, right? You know what I'm saying? Just get married, live separately, right? At the end of the day, I love you. Love you too. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Leading to his big break in 1997 with the TV show NewsRadio. Playing Joe Gorelli, Rogan gained his first taste of mainstream visibility.
The world of stock car racing was shaken today when NASCAR legend Travis Sullivan announced his retirement. Sullivan, a three-time Winston Cup winner, has been on the circuit for 30 years, plans to spend more time with his family. In local sports, Knicks reserve guard Jeff Washington goes under the knife for a tenolysis on his injured right ring finger tendon later today.
A tenolysis? That sounds complicated. What is it, Joe?
It doesn't say here, Bill, but I believe it's a semi-invasive surgical procedure to remove scar tissue from the proximal and distal junctions of a ruptured tendon.
You don't say.
Transition to UFC and acting.
Is the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And I'm curious about that, because you're an actor on a sitcom. Are you fighting in an Ultimate Fighting Championship?
No, I just interview the fighters.
And that's something you do regularly? Because you're a fighter yourself, aren't you?
Well, I was, at one point in time. Now I'm just a participant in the, just interview the dudes.
Right.
It's fun, man. It's a freak show. It's wild. It's great.
Because Ultimate Fighting, explain this to people that don't know. Ultimate Fighting, you can do whatever you want.
Not anymore. No, it's not exactly that way. What Ultimate Fighting is it's in a cage. It's in an octagon. And it's like a combination of boxing and wrestling. The minute you say it.
While NewsRadio launched his career, Rogan's involvement with the UFC in 1997 set him apart.
Talking to Dana White one day, he I was talking to him about fights going on in Japan. I'm like, have you ever seen Sato fight? Do you know do you know Sakura? Do you know this guy? And I was bringing all these names. And he was like, do you want to do commentary? I'm like, I don't want to do commentary, man. I'm here to get drunk and watch people kick the shit out of each other. I'm not here to work. And he talked me into it for one show, a UFC 37 and a half. It was a show that was on one of those Fox sports networks, smaller networks. And I think it was the best damn sports show, period, was a part of it. I did that, and the rest is history.
Wow.
And then I did like 12 of them for free. Like, the UFC didn't have any money. They were hemorrhaging money.
As a color commentator, his raw, unfiltered perspective made him a fan favorite.
Hi, Bruce. We're backstage. We've just been informed that Takahashi broke his hand in his fight, and he's not going to be fighting in the finals. So to replace him will be the alternate Nick Sanzo, who won earlier this evening. Back to you guys. I'm down here, guys, with the Victor Belfort contingency, and in the wake of that unbelievably impressive victory in the semifinals, they are anticipating a wipeout in the finals.
Yeah! Number one! Crazy!
They have a lot of things to say.
He also hosted Fear Factor, which further expanded his reach and established him as a versatile media personality.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't assault people. What are you doing?
Oh, but he
it's called
Johnny.
strategy. He's yelling
That's
at
not
you.
a
You can't
strategy.
run up to him and hit him.
The birth of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Like stand-up comedians, like if you take a guy like Dave Chappelle or, Cat Williams or anybody, any good comic that you like, they write all their own shit. They write it, they perform it. They're saying shit that they think is funny. They are the producer. They are the performer. They're the whole ball of wax. They're the writer. They're everything. And that's why you get a pure product. because you get a product that's from this dude's mind. Well, what happens is when you like start working on a television show, these people that are working for the network, somebody has to work for the network, and you would assume that the people at the very top of the food chain are the perfect people for the job. But that's not true. They're just people that somehow or another got that fucking job. And a lot of them, they like to think that they know what's good. They like to think they have an eye for it, and they always want to put their footprint on it. They want to put their handprint on it. They want to change something. And anything that, I think the background should be blue. We're going to ruin the whole show with this red background. And they'll go crazy, and they'll fucking fight over this. Why? Because they want to be the one to say, well, it was me that decided for the blue background. If they didn't go with that blue background, the show was shit, am I right? And then the wife will agree with them, and they all get fucking pilled up together.
In 2009, Rogan launched the Joe Rogan Experience, JRE. What started as a casual hobby evolved into a platform for long, uncensored conversations with guests from all walks of life. JRE gained attention because of Rogan's curiosity, his willingness to dive into controversial topics, and his ability to engage deeply with experts from various fields.
Amen. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's like having these incredible people to share their knowledge and a lifetime of learning. You know, they can fill in blanks and educate you and point you in the right direction. And also you can see the way their mind works. And then there's guys like, like David Goggins.
Oh, yeah.
Who just, you realize like, oh, okay, there's levels to everything, man. This fucking dude, he will make you realize that you have more in the tank.
Yeah.
He will make you realize that you can do more. You can put.
The rise of the podcast.
If you're jerking off with a hat on, bro, you're going to hell, I think.
Fedora.
Yeah, that's the worst, right?
But the worst thing was the cheerleaders were crying. That's how bad it smelled. They were sitting in front of the bus going,
Wait a minute. He's changing flavor.
One of the teachers.
I said, don't buy it. It's a bad idea.
How many did you make?
20,000.
And why did I learn this excuse at 38? Babe, there's leopards around.
Built in.
Nothing will ever be funnier. America will come apart in one of the funniest ways. You'll die laughing, literally.
As the podcasting world grew, so did Rogan's influence. His laid-back, no-holds-barred style attracted millions of listeners. JRE became one of the most popular podcasts, and in 2020, Rogan signed an exclusive $100 million deal with Spotify, cementing his power in the media industry.
It will start on September 1st. Starting on September 1st, the entire JRE library will be available on Spotify as well as all the other platforms. Then somewhere around the end of the year, it will become exclusive to Spotify, including the video version of the podcast. It will be the exact same show. I am not going to be an employee of Spotify. We're going to be working with the same crew, doing the exact same show. The only difference will be it will now be available on the largest audio platform in the world.
The COVID-19 controversy.
So, my position all the way through this comes off of the platform of bioethics and the importance of informed consent. So my position is that people should have the freedom of choice, particularly for their children, and that in order to appropriately choose to participate in a medical experiment, they have to be fully informed of the risks as well as the benefits. And so I've tried really hard to make sure that people have access to the information about those risks and potential benefits, the true unfiltered academic papers and raw data, etc.
One of the most controversial moments in Rogan's career came during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rogan became a vocal figure questioning mainstream narratives, inviting doctors and scientists to discuss alternative views on the virus and treatments. His willingness to give these experts a platform led to heated debates and backlash from mainstream media.
And the story that is looking more and more likely, what I would call the lab leak hypothesis, is looking ever stronger. And anyway, I've been in contact with other people who have reached that conclusion. We have faced all kinds of pushback. But in a sense, again, we still don't know. It is possible that this came from the wild without human meddling. But the virus itself has several components that suggest that it is actually the result of manipulation in the lab.
Rogan's vaccine and lockdown views.
The concern is with vaccines, the negative effects that what people are worried about, I think, is young people that are healthy that have negative effects, like that have had strokes or that have had thrombosis or myocarditis and those issues, right?
Well,
Rogan's outspoken stance against mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations and lockdowns garnered attention. He advocated for personal freedom and questioned the long-term effects of the vaccine, arguing that lockdowns did more harm than good.
It's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. There's got to be a better way to do this that allows people to keep their businesses open, stay healthy, go outside.
His views, though divisive, resonated with many who felt the mainstream response was overblown.
This is also very, very rare in young people, particularly young, healthy people. But one thing that has occurred in young, healthy people that have been vaccinated is myocarditis. And some people have had blood clots, like quite a few blood clots. And there's speculation, right? The Salk Institute released that paper about the spike protein causing some sort of deterioration of the blood vessels. Did you read that?
Ivermectin advocacy.
We immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything.
Rogan also faced controversy for endorsing ivermectin, a drug used to treat parasites, as a possible treatment for COVID-19. After contracting the virus, Rogan claimed ivermectin helped his recovery. Though the drug was widely dismissed by health authorities, Rogan's advocacy sparked debate.
Shut up. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor. It's an American company. They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for use in human beings.
With some accusing him of spreading misinformation, while others appreciated his openness to alternative treatments.
But he did say something about ivermectin that I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying, okay? Ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer.
Mainstream media bias and conservative politics.
There's so many that lean left in Silicon Valley. The idea that that company was secretly run by Republicans is ridiculous. They're almost all run by Democrats or progressive people.
Rogan became known for criticizing mainstream media, especially its perceived bias against conservative views.
And when you give people that amount of power, they don't want to ever let it go. And they don't ever want to say they're wrong, and they don't ever want to admit fault, and they don't ever want to open the door to nuance.
Correct.
And that's what you see with whether it's CNN or Fox News or any of these motherfuckers. They have this idea that they've been selling you, whether it's this idea about Russia, whether it's the idea about COVID, whether it's the idea about Trump, whether it's the idea about Biden. I mean, they're selling you some shit. And it's very, very difficult to get an unbiased perspective on the world.
They came after you.
In a media landscape often hostile to conservative voices, Rogan provided a platform for figures like Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
What is it like running for vice president of the United States? How crazy is this experience?
It's pretty weird. I was just telling you this earlier, but the first time that I've been in a public spot without Secret Service in the room is right now. So I'm like looking around for these guys because I'm used to just having them. It's 3 months, right? So he asked me the Monday of the RNC convention, which I think was June 15th. And I really didn't know that morning. I thought that he was probably going to pick me, but I didn't know for sure. Probably.
Giving them an opportunity to speak freely about their perspectives on politics, which were frequently ignored by traditional media outlets.
That you have with YouTube and with a lot of these other social media organizations and companies is they don't have to respond or give you any reasons. Yeah. They can say it violates our terms, but what are those terms? Those terms aren't even listed. It would be vague, like no hate speech. Okay, well, what's hate speech? Like, what are you saying? Like, what is your clear policy? What are your guidelines? How does someone avoid violating your guidelines? They don't say.
Yeah, and how is the president of the United States not violating those terms?
Well, demonetization is another way that they do it. They'll remove the ability to put advertising on a conversation that they don't like. And it doesn't have to be like my conversation with Douglas Murray was demonetized.
Without any explanation.
Media attention and negative fame.
Now, as for Rogan's recent comments, on one level, it's just comical. Hearing this rich and famous guy express worries that even though he's paid to talk for a living, he's going to be silenced in the future.
The media often portrayed Rogan negatively, focusing on his controversial views and guests.
But he did say something about ivermectin that I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying, okay? Ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer.
The most dangerous messages to the public you would possibly imagine. I imagine, and I've been talking to colleagues about this, were it not for Donald Trump, even the likes of Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan or the school in Miami that won't hire vaccinated teachers would not be getting away with this absolute nonsense that they're getting away with right now. So he's left us, Donald Trump, a poison pill that is really undermining our ability to get this pandemic under control. And a lot of blood and a lot of lives are on his hands and on the hands of people who continue to propagate this nonsense to the American people. If I can make a plea, it would be turn away from these charlatans, turn toward the CDC and other legitimate sources of information. If we don't do that, a lot of us are going to face some.
However, instead of silencing him, this constant negative attention only made him more famous. It fueled curiosity and turned Rogan into a symbol of resistance against censorship, with more listeners tuning in to hear his unfiltered opinions. Rogan's influence in politics and the 2024 election.
This is a very dangerous business, first of all. It's a very tough business.
It's the most dangerous business.
It's the most, well, for a job?
Yes. I mean, other than going to war and being a firefighter or being a cop, it's the most dangerous business.
It's the most dangerous. Being president is the most dangerous.
Especially you. I mean, you haven't even got to the election. There's been 2 assassination attempts. And they've brushed those out of the news like it was nothing.
Yeah, they'd rather not talk about them.
Imagine if there was assassination attempts on Biden, how hard people would be attacking the right, how they would be trying to get guns taken away from people. They would try to ramp up gun laws. They would try to figure out some way to blame you. If there was attacks on, if Biden got shot in the ear, we would have never heard the end of it.
But I think he's in good shape because it's only consequential presidents.
Rogan's influence wasn't limited to media. His podcast played a significant role in shaping political discourse, especially during the 2024 election.
But Joe Rogan just announced, and he doesn't do this at all, I don't think he's ever done it, but he just announced that he's giving me his complete and total endorsement to me.
Conservative leaders, using his platform, were able to reach younger voters who felt sidelined by mainstream media. Rogan's influence was crucial in connecting figures like Donald Trump with this demographic, ultimately playing a key role in Trump's victory in 2024.
Camp of someone who I don't really think endorsements tend to matter that much. I wondered about Taylor Swift, and I do wonder about Joe Rogan. Brad, do you think that this actually moves the needle?
Well, I think Donald Trump's opponent today is not so much Kamala Harris as it is the Xbox. He needs people who are young males who might not think voting matters and they think the Xbox more fun to get off that couch and go to vote. And
That's a really interesting, I mean, it's a very sharp way to put that.
And I think Joe Rogan is important in that demographic. I think Elon Musk is important.
Rogan's influence.
Just like what I don't feel safer is right now they're launching missiles into Russia.
Yeah.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like the people don't want you to be there anymore. There should be like some sort of a pause for like significant actions that could potentially start World War III. Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a dying former president.
Mm-hmm. What makes Rogan so influential is his ability to challenge conventional thinking and offer a platform for those often excluded from mainstream media. Whether discussing politics, COVID, or media bias, Rogan's podcast became a place where listeners could form their own opinions, bypassing the traditional media filter.
But, what's fascinating to me is how so many different people think so differently about all kinds of aspects of life. And that's the thing that's been the most shocking about the podcast is what I talked about earlier. You get an unexpected education. I didn't plan on talking to hundreds of scientists and hundreds of professors and all these different fascinating people and get so many different views of how they view the world and how they see things and what they've experienced and what they've learned and what they know. And, you add that to your life and it's an amazing opportunity to just educate yourself.
If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on Joe Rogan's rise to fame, his impact on politics, and his role in the 2024 election in the comments below.
If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel so you can stay up to date with our latest content.